Hello and welcome to the Nihil channel and to my 2022 Holiday SRPG gift guide. Whether you're looking to pick up something for yourself or for one of your close friends, this is a good place to find it, hopefully. So without further ado, here is just a couple of the games that came out in 2022. The first one on our list is a little game called Walk with the Living. It came out in January of 2022 and is about an undead skeleton who is resurrected into a world that has sort of moved on without him. He's trying to find his place in the world. It's a really heartwarming story of love and loss, and I was really invested the entire time. It's Cole Brayfield, the developer's very first game. It's definitely really worth checking out, and it's not a big time sink. It is about 12 to 13 chapters, depending on how you play the game, and it's a lot smaller in scale than other SRPGs, but it's really focused. I was really happy with the map design, and I highly recommend checking it out. And best of all, it's free, so you're literally investing nothing. So pick this up for yourself, or tell a friend about it, and you won't regret it. The next one on our list is called Triangle Strategy. This is a really big budget title from Square, and I have not actually gotten to play this one yet, but it has been highly recommended to me from one of my very frequent co-hosts on the channel, Daniel. He told me all about how you are constantly having to make really big narrative choices. It asks you a lot of questions that have huge impact on the story. So if that's what you're into, if you're into really emotional, really deep storytelling with tons of replayability, this could definitely be the game for you. It seems like the routes are very different, and I've heard the combat is really fun, so definitely check that one out if you're into it. And that's going to run you about $60, and it is on Nintendo Switch and Steam. The next game I'd like to recommend is Lost Eidolons. This is from the Korean studio Ocean Drive Studios, and this is their first game as well. It is a beautiful looking SRPG that is in full 3D, which we don't see too often these days, but it looks just absolutely gorgeous, and it's on Steam currently, but they're going to try and get it out on Xbox pretty soon too. So it's sort of going to be the Fire Emblem for Xbox, I think, and it is absolutely deserving of that title of what I've played so far. I've made it about halfway through it, maybe a little bit further, and I'm doing a full Let's Play of that on the channel as well, and I can't recommend it highly enough. It's tons of fun, and that one's going to set you back $35 US, so I would definitely say it's worth that price for either you or a friend. Definitely pick that one up. The next game on the list I want to highlight is called Telepath Tactics Liberated. And the Liberated is basically liberated from its old engine. The developer, Sinister Designs, released the game several years ago, and then decided, yeah, this could just be a whole lot better. So he remade pretty much the entire game from the ground up, from scratch. It was an insane undertaking. I can't believe he did that. But he is that passionate about making good game. Telepath Tactics is all about the environment. Players can freeze water to create new paths, destroy old paths, and it's all just very interactable. There's also tons of really fun classes, like praying mantis riders and these little shadow ball people. It's a lot of fun, and I definitely think you should check it out. This one's also really good for newcomers because there's an entirely customizable difficulty. You can have permadeath on or off, you can change how much experience you get or don't get, how much gold you get or don't get. It's really customizable, so it's really great for first-timers if you've never played an SRPG or you've only played maybe 1 or 2 series and you want to try something new. The next one on our list is Front Mission First Remake. This game is a remake of Front Mission, the very first one. Shocking, I know. I don't know as much about this one because I didn't grow up with Front Mission, so I don't have huge opinions on this, but my fellow YouTuber Woodhouse RPG has a lot of really great videos on it, and he did grow up with it and did tons of really in-depth comparisons and things, so I'll link to one of his videos in the iCard, which is going to be in the corner. I forget which one it's going to be in, but it'll be there, and you can check out more about that game if you want to. He wasn't as stoked on it as a remake. He felt like you could have had, the developers could have added a lot of quality of life things that they just kind of didn't. But if you've never played the Front Mission games like I haven't, it seems like a pretty good place to jump in. You can do that on Nintendo Switch, and soon, I believe, you can do that on Steam. I don't think it's out on Steam yet, but soon. So, that's another option for you this holiday. My next recommendation is called Symphony of War, The Nephilim Saga. Dancing Dragons, this is not their first game, but it is their first SRPG, and man did they hit it out of the park with this one. The reception has been absolutely insane. The game is extremely ambitious, it sold very well, and they're going to keep pumping out new content for it for a good while, because they just made more than they expected to, so they're determined to give that back to the players in some way, shape, or form. It's been a really cool project so far. It's really very similar to Fire Emblem, as are a lot of the games on this list, but the big twist for this one is that instead of focusing too much on inventory management, you're focusing on personnel management. It's got a really cool mechanic where you customize your army and add little, like, you add the soldiers to each platoon, which is represented by a main named character, and this really, really changes up the playstyle. I mean, this is what makes you an archer or a cavalier, and there's just tons and tons of ways to customize your army, and you spend a lot of time doing that because it's just so fun. So this is one I highly recommend. It's only going to set you back $20 US, which I think is a very reasonable ask for such an ambitious title. The last recommendation I have for you today is actually a pair of games that both came out this year, and those are Legend of Zero. My last recommendation is actually a pair of games that came out this year, and those are The Legend of Zero and The Legend of Snake. These are both tied into an earlier game called The Legend of Cena, which I've played on my channel. You can find plenty of footage of it there. It's a really goofy indie game made by just one guy on SRPG Studio, and I had a ton of fun with The Legend of Cena. The way he makes games is just so off the wall. I never know what's going to happen with the plot, and it's just tons and tons of fun. Right now, both of those games are free on Steam, so it's again another of those, like, you're venturing nothing, so I would definitely encourage everyone to pick both of those up and give them a whirl. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? And that is my holiday gift guide for the year 2022. I hope that this was able to help out somebody, either help you know what to get your friend, your boyfriend, your parents, I don't know. I would just really like it if this was able to help even one person find a game that they wouldn't have otherwise, so let me know in the comments if this helped you, and I will see you in the next video.